Good morning and welcome to the Diamond Chronicles, True Tales of Trade, Trust, and Betrayal. Judith, Judy, Juju, what are we calling you this week? Do we have a name?
Whatever you want to call me, because that seems like
I have a few names after your performance last week that come to mind, and it's none of the three above, okay?
Oh, no.
How was your week last week?
It was good. Yeah.
Now, you're doing your GIA course. Any updates there? You seem to be quite knowledgeable about a few things before we came on, so I'm assuming...
I'm working on it, Colin.
You know you're the longest it's taken anybody to complete that course that I've had in my these 4 decades in the diamond industry.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm thinking that I learned so much more from you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was your perfectionism that was causing you to...
I'm almost certified, so give it another week.
Yeah, almost certifiable is probably a better...
How are you doing over there? Surviving the heat?
Well, you know, as you know, I'm a rollerblader. If my Instagram, my personal Instagram is at Colin David Ferguson, and yes, I'm surviving the heat here. It's going to go up to close to 30 or 30 again today.
Brutal.
But I will be out on that seawall for a minimum of 2.5, usually around 3 or 4 hours, blading around like a... I don't know like what really, but I'll be out there for sure. I'm just looking out the window here from the beautiful view we have high atop the Marriott Pinnacle Hotel in downtown Vancouver. And boy, the ocean is glass right now. Yeah. There's not a breeze. And you know, you get that kind of smoggy effect, right? Which is, well, it's big cities all over the world. You know, and speaking of all over the world, this week we're going to be talking about what makes diamonds special.
So, let's get started.
And what do you feel, Judy, or what makes diamonds special?
Well, there's so many interesting things about diamonds. I think the coolest thing is the fact that there's no other substance on the planet as hard as a diamond.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right?
Hey? It is. And do you know that that's the reason that De Beers, the legendary, iconic diamond company started by Cecil Rhodes way back in the late 1800s, why the company did so well in advertising? And if you recall, there was the ad, "A diamond is forever."
Is that the one we use in our intro? Outro?
That's the one we use in our intro. Well, in those days, you know, it's interesting because De Beers wanted the whole world to know about diamonds,
right.
And they invested a great deal of money in a product, really, that, as we're learning today, is very plentiful. Now, not in the quality ranges.
Right.
You know, there's certain areas that are more valuable, but let's start our talk. My suggestion would be, if we were going to start a talk about what makes diamonds special, I think we should start in Vienna, Austria. Okay. And I think we should start in 1477.
You were alive at the time? I'm such an asshole.
Yes, you are. Okay, that's right. Even with your GIA certification, you will still be an asshole. Okay. No, 1477 was Archduke Maximilian began what really was transformative for the diamond industry. He began the diamond engagement ring business. And what he did was he gave Mary of Burgundy a diamond. They refer to it as diamond set in gold, but he put the letter M in diamonds in gold. And this, of course, was the genesis or the beginning of the diamond engagement ring industry. And look, if it wasn't for the diamond engagement ring industry,
there would be no industry. Right?
There would be no diamond industry. You remember that from the other podcast.
I do remember some things.
You're becoming somewhat impressive. Hey, your early days were kind of dim, as we know, but yeah. So the diamond engagement ring, I think, what could the M have stood for? And what if it was a W upside down and they got it wrong all this time in history?
Gosh.
And why? Maybe it stands for why. Like maybe the Duke was going, why am I doing this? Right? Like what? Like so many guys who get engaged, like why the fuck am I doing this?
Right.
So that's you women who are listening, engaged people. It's not really what guys think. It is. Okay, they think about things like I could spend the money on
A car.
like new tires, a holiday, anything else. De Beers had this is special about it is the De Beers guideline for owning a diamond engagement ring. And it's interesting because they had a tremendous amount of luck when the guideline was that you spend 2 months salary. So
That
if
was
you
a
made
guideline?
$100,000 a year, it's still the guideline.
Oh my God.
It's 2 months salary out of the year, and they raised it to 3.
Right. Well, inflation.
But nobody went for it. Yeah, I guess so, inflation. But they just wanted more money in the industry, and they thought we did so well with the 2, and so they had to bring it back to 2. So that's a diamond engagement ring, and you're right about the fact that they're hard. The only thing that can scratch or damage a diamond. Now, don't misunderstand this. Diamonds have a grain like a piece of wood does, and if you hit it along that grain, it will splinter, it will break. You hit them with a hammer, they're going to smash. But against the grain, they're the hardest naturally occurring substance. That's exactly right.
So it's basically indestructible love on your finger. In a sense, right?
That's so beautiful. It's
So
so
poetic.
emotional, indestructible love on your finger. Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? And, this is the other thing about diamonds, why they're special. They are the ultimate symbol of love. We talk about this a lot. We talk about with our clients a lot. We talk about the fact that, the only return on a diamond
Is beauty.
I mean, it's not about buying these things, it's about owning them, and it's about being able to go out and stick your diamond engagement ring out there in this world and have it be the brightest, whitest, most beautiful diamond. I mean, I think it's the only return. I mean, guys go out there all the time and try to figure out a way to kind of get around it, but unlike anything else people buy, the diamond engagement ring goes with you wherever you go for the rest of your lives together, however short or long that may be. Well, we can't talk about these things without talking about the fact that, not every engagement ring in marriage works out. So, I'm a bit jaded having been divorced, but I can tell you this, the diamond that woman got, she could,
woman?
hey,
That woman.
I'm referring kindly to the mother of my children and my ex-wife, but it was a diamond where, wherever it went, she had the prettiest diamond in the room. And I tell guys all the time, that's what this is about. That's what makes them special. If you don't have one that's the prettiest, and it's easy to do, in every budget. I mean, there's always going to be bigger and smaller diamonds. That's just a fact of everybody's life. But there shouldn't be more beautiful, because for her, the emotion is love,
Right.
and the return's beauty. And that's what was that line that you like? Crystallized love on your... It's so beautiful. Crystallized love
So
on the
emotional.
finger. Yeah. So those are some of the things. So we're in Vienna, Austria at the start of the diamond industry. So what's next? I know you did some homework. What else did you find out special? Do you know, here's some things that I think people would find interesting about what makes diamonds special, is do you know that 80% of the diamonds that are mined are used for industrial purposes?
Right, because they're the hardest substance.
That's
right?
exactly, and their ability to conduct heat.
Right.
Like they're a better heat conductor than copper by 100 times, for example.
Right.
Right? You know how I guess you may or may not know how they run copper pipe through houses. But yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. So I'm trying to connect to Wi-Fi at home, but my building is so old, and it runs through like copper, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like limited.
That's fascinating, Judy.
So
do I look
fascinating.
like your landlord to you? Like, do I strike you as someone? I mean, I'm about as handy as a foot, right? So, I'm not the guy to be asking these
I
technical
know.
questions.
You'd be the guy to hire someone to do it for you.
So here's another thing that really, do you mind if we come back to our subject today,
Sure.
which is why diamonds are special? diamonds are portable, invisible wealth. Okay, so
Can you describe what that means for someone who doesn't
we're
know?
dealing with let's talk about that, because we live in a world right now where the banking system, where governments are fragile and people are looking for ways to make their wealth less obvious. They want to get it out of banks. I mean, certainly this has been one of the big issues with Bitcoin and all the rise of these other currencies. But this is what I call one of the secrets of the wealthy, and it's not that big a secret, is the fact that you can put your money in a diamond. I mean, that stone sold recently, that vivid blue diamond, that's 15 carats, that weighs 3 grams. There's 5 carats in a gram. And I could have that under my tongue right now, $50 million US.
Wait, stick your tongue out for me.
Actually, there's a picture of me in one of the articles we'll post on the website about with a 10 carat in my mouth, on my tongue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see that one.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see that picture with me with my tongue out with this huge diamond on it. But yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a very long time as a way to move wealth. Right? And so this 50 million, I could have it under my tongue. All the countries in the world trade in these things, right? It's not like there's countries that don't. Every single country in the world trades in them. And it's interesting, the mining and the operations have moved all over the world for generations. But yeah, I could have this diamond under my tongue, walk across a border. I mean, when's the last time you got searched under your tongue? By the way, unless they put those, even if you get called out for an x-ray, because I've been here, I've done this, you know this, I've traveled internationally with literally millions of dollars worth of diamonds in my pocket. And I remember one of the times I was flying through YVR out of Vancouver here somewhere, and I had all these diamonds in my pocket, and there's this mat that you step on that directs you into the I guess it's some sort of x-ray system. And so I went into the x-ray system and I had the diamonds in my pocket. Now I had a carnet report, which means it was being done legally. I wasn't leaving the country without.
You weren't smuggling diamonds.
No, I wasn't smuggling diamonds. I'm not a mule, okay? Right? And literally I went into the x-ray machine and I put my arms up and they x-rayed, and I thought, for sure I'm getting searched. For sure they're going to. Yeah. So I walked, and I remember getting on the plane. I was on my way to Singapore, actually, and no one stopped me, no one questioned me, no one looked at me. And even when I landed in Singapore, I thought for sure they're going to detain me and search. Look, apparently with these x-ray machines, because I went to them afterwards and said, I have these diamonds. I became so paranoid.
Oh, Keener.
And Keener? Is that But I wanted to know why.
Okay.
And apparently, unless they set it on a certain setting that is not random.
Right. These were loose stones, though, right?
These were loose diamonds. About $5 million worth of them in my pocket.
That's crazy.
So these are this portable wealth aspect of owning a diamond is one of the things that makes them, it's a secret of the wealthy. I guess it's a secret of the wealthy no more. But you look at some of the asset classes and look at them as an investment. You look at a pink diamond nowadays with the closure of the Argyle diamond mine. I mean, it's probably the fastest growing hard asset class in the world. You can hide it. It's, war-torn countries and countries much older than us here in North America, because we're really still roughing it in the bush. We've never seen a war on our shores.
Knock on wood.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But, countries like China, countries all over the world that have had wars, people always have portable wealth with them because they never know when they're going to have to lift, shift, and get going. So that's another aspect, I think, that makes these things so special. And it's often an overlooked one.
So what else makes a diamond so special, Colin? You've been in the industry for forever.
For like 2 decades before you were born.
What else makes a diamond special?
One of the things that, I always think about the marketing and the sales and all that of a diamond, but, even before that, the Greeks and the Romans used to believe that diamonds for example, you can, I always think of romancing the stone. Whenever guys get engaged, I tell them, look, romance the stone. Do something more than just give her the ring.
Right.
Engrave her name inside. Set a little diamond inside the ring that touches her finger, and give her a poem or something that's all hers. So when she goes and shows her girlfriends for the rest of her life. I mean, I focus a lot on this stuff with guys so they know this is how you do it, right? Romance the friggin' stone. And girls will go, oh my God, that's the prettiest diamond I've ever seen. I get this all the time. If you're not getting the prettiest diamond everybody's ever seen, especially her, don't get it. Okay? Pure and simple. And I always tell them to have a good story. So however you gave it to her, we don't recommend putting them in glasses of champagne anymore in case she ingests it. This has happened on more than one occasion. Oh yeah, true story.
Gosh.
I have some real stories. We're going to have to do a podcast on those stories. But the romancing of the stone really started way back when with the Greeks and the Romans. For example, they believed that diamonds were splinters from the stars, or they were the tears of the gods that had fallen to earth. Like, how beautiful is that? If you want, it's funny. I always tell our clients with natural fancy colored diamonds nowadays that they are the tears of the gods, where they laughed so hard they cried. Cute, right?
That's cute.
Does that make you a little emotional? That's so sweet.
Are we okay today?
Yeah, I'm a little unstable again.
Yeah.
So yeah, right? It's the heat.
I honestly think it is. It's driving me crazy.
Like, that's a long drive. Okay, let's keep moving along here. That's some of the thing. Their hardness. I mean, look, as a piece of jewelry. Here's the thing about diamonds compared to emeralds and rubies and sapphires and all the other ones, is you can put them in a piece of jewelry and friggin' wear them all the time. They don't scratch. They don't, break and chip and crack because of what you said about the hardness scale. They're hard. You wear an emerald engagement ring. Emerald's a very soft stone.
Oh, really?
Even sapphire, which is the second hardest.
Where are they on the scale?
Do I look like a I know this. I'm just kidding. The sapphire, which is the second hardest gemstone.
Oh, okay.
Right? Popular gemstone, is an 8 on the scale.
Oh, okay.
So you see people go out and get sapphire engagement rings.
They
I don't
will
understand
scratch,
why. They scratch. Right? Hands hit everything. People do dishes. People do, I do more than my share these days, but that's summer in Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
So so that's what makes them special. And for me personally, the fact that I talk about Vienna, Austria, the fact that these have taken me all over the world and where I've gone and what I've seen and the different cultures and how they deal with diamonds. For example, right now I have a sale to a mainland China we're working on, that vivid pink diamond. And this guy has wanted us to do some things that are a little less than the norm in business, and we've refused and refused and refused. And I didn't tell you this, Judy, but apparently someone is going to show up in Vancouver to acquire the stone. Can you imagine?
Wow.
So that's going to get resolved. This has been going on for weeks, but it's a different way to buy diamonds. And we deal internationally. We've done it for a very long time. And the stories I could tell about that are just over the top. But yeah, special is where they've taken me all over, China. And to do business in China, you hear about this, it's a very different marketplace from other marketplaces. I mean, more caveat emptor, buyer beware, or seller beware than anywhere else in the world. And, places like having an office in Antwerp, Belgium, and seeing that all over the years, and watching the changes in the industry. And, this is my segue again, I guess, into talking about lab-created diamonds, because a couple of years ago, not very long ago, we'd be talking about the fact that, diamonds come from somewhere near the center of the earth. And, frankly, now you're looking at, mine diamonds and look, if you have a mine diamond, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That was the industry at that time.
That was the industry. That's what was
right.
available,
And exactly. And you look at De Beers and the stories about De Beers and the bloodletting. I'm not going to call them blood diamonds, that took place over the diamond industry. But nowadays, a 3.5 billion year old diamond can be produced in a lab in a couple of weeks and no one can tell the difference. How frightening is that? We'd be talking about things like how, diamonds formed 100 miles down in the earth, right? It's hard to think about going straight down and not coming out the other side 100 miles, but that's where they were formed. And, the industry itself, I'll say this as well, I don't think it's going to have any problems at all converting from, raping Mother Nature for her jewels to having these ethically clean diamonds.
Yeah. I like that paradigm of the fur coats of the gem world.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
Well, that's what they're going to become. I think you're going to see people who won't even admit they have one.
Well,
the
that's
good
just
news
it.
is you can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference.
And there's no stigma or anything involved with that. But does the fact that the industry is moving towards that, is it a good thing? Absolutely, 100%. It's a good thing. It's more ethical. They're going to have to close the mines. And I say this all the time. There's no reason anymore. There's no reason. We talk a lot about the movie that's coming out.
Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever. These diamonds, these lab-grown diamonds, have been in the pipeline for a very long time without
Longer
people
than we
knowing.
think, right?
And I had this executive, very successful executive, we're doing a diamond ring for right now on the phone the other day. And this woman I've known for 35 years. She is brilliant. She is knowledgeable. And she is insisting on lab-created diamonds.
Good for her.
Well, the article came out last week in the Globe and Mail about the fact that these are a luxury product now. In my opinion, they're more luxurious than something out of a mine. And by the way, I was reading an article this morning. I'm going to end this here so people understand that rough production is down from the mines. It's what we've been saying forever. Look, the biggest jewelers in the world, Pandora, are only using lab-created diamonds, and they're all headed in that direction. Watch for our news this week. We'll be back next week. I hope you found this fun and interesting. Judy, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Try to get
Colin.
to work on time.
What?
Whatever.
Yeah, excellent. I think we're going to have to do an episode on lab-grown in mind, because that could be a discussion,
Yeah,
It could be a great discussion. Really.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, well, until next time.
Take care. We're the Diamond Chronicles.